to your podcast, and I'm your host, Deja Nicole. So, in today's episode, which is episode number 20 of season 2, which, if you know, season 2 is all about healing girl era, and to be honest, I'm back into my healing journey. Your girl went through a breakup. Well, it's going through a breakup, but I'm in my healing journey still, but I gotta take a couple steps back. So, in today's episode, we're gonna talk about leaving a toxic situation. And if you was wondering, no, my relationship that I just got out of wasn't toxic. It was actually healthy. It was just the person was dealing with his own problems. So that's why. But we're going to talk about leaving a toxic situation. This can be friendships, this can be with coworkers, this can be with family, this can be with relationships, this can be with acquaintances. This can just be with anyone that you just give your time to, give your energy to, and give your worth to. So, like I said, this is episode 20. We're almost like done with season 2. I watch will be done on the 29th. That's going to be a guest episode too. So, the 29th will be the last episode of season 2. I'm still working with season 3. I'm actually almost done with school, so your girl's trying to work things for the podcast. I'm trying to actually upload the rest of my podcast clips on TikTok. Trying to do it by the rest of this week and next week and the week after because your girl has been slacking. I need a team. Maybe season 4 I get a team, not season 3. Well, I would want a team season 3, but I would want to pay. So I said like season 4, and wait to get a team, and hopefully I get like sponsorships and with the podcast, and this podcast will grow to a lot of downloads. But let's get into today's episode. So we always do the weekly check up. So today is Wednesday, the 29th of November, so we're almost to December, and tonight, after I do some homework, after I actually have to re-edit and re-upload last Friday's episode on YouTube, because for some reason when I was uploading it failed and the sound was cut off, so I did not appreciate that. But we're going to do a mental health checkup. So like I said, yesterday me and um my ex broke up with me just because he's dealing with his own personal problems. And yeah, and to be honest, I don't recommend dating someone in the military, but he was just dealing with his own personal problems that I don't even know about. And to be honest, I kind of knew it was coming because he was putting me in the shadows. But I have dealt since yesterday. Hold up. Okay, since yesterday and today, I have dealt with this breakup like it actually hurts. I don't think of a word to describe it, but like I have really dealt with it. Like yesterday I cried myself to sleep. I cried, and yeah, I cried, and today I cried, and it really hurts, because he was a good guy. I'm not gonna like lie. Like he was a great guy. But your girl got goals to achieve, and it's just a moment, and it's going to go away. It's gonna fade away. These feelings that I'm having is gonna fade away. So yeah. But overall my mental health is actually good, to be honest, even though I'm going through a breakup and going through the emotions and going through this process of healing again. But my mental health is good. I have been doing yoga and meditation now, and let me tell you, that will boost your mental health so good in the morning. I'm about to add yoga to my night routine. I just added to my morning routine, so yeah. So if you actually subscribe to my like main YouTube channel, Deja Nicole, winter morning routines and winter night routines, you will see probably a meditation and yoga into those because I have done it and I fell off after day one and this is day two and I just make time for it and I'm actually making time for God again. So it's just me just healing and going through this. I have my best friend, but sometimes I just feel like I don't like telling people my problems, but yeah, you should always have a support system. Plus, I go on Lemonade. I'm gonna like start posting there like more often. And yeah, but your girl is good. Your girl is good. Don't let no guy distract you from your goals. And that's what I do. Like even if I was in a relationship or when I was in a relationship, I didn't let the dude distract me of my goals. Like I still took could care of myself. Yeah, like I went to the gym before I started my cycle, but I went to the gym. I still did the things that I love doing. I still focused on my goals. And I just feel like sometimes with a lot of people, especially women, when we're in a relationship, we fall off of our goals and our routines because we're in a relationship. We are in this whole nother world of someone else's in it, and they're my priority. When, to be honest, you should still love yourself as well in a relationship. So, yeah. But let's just get on to today's episode. So, before we get into today's episode, let's continue with the weekly updates. So, you know that we have a group chat called You Against You group chat that will be in the show notes down below. That is going to be. I hope to get more members because planning. I am planning a. I'm planning. I'm planning a challenge. That's what it is. And if you want to enter the challenge and like just reinvent yourself, join the group chat and you will just have to wait until I announce the challenge through the group chat and through Instagram and when we're going to start it. Now, another thing that I'm planning to do that will probably be more announced after I get everything planned for it at some point in December before Christmas, maybe the second week of December, I will do a vision board virtual Zoom meeting party. So basically, we will probably, you can grab your favorite drinks. So that can be tea, water, coffee, kombucha, Olipop, poppy, what other drinks? Iced tea, sweet tea, anything that you like drinking, a beverage, and I will probably like I don't know, we have like some chats and we just talk about what are our favorite books to read and this and that and then we're going to like make a vision board and just share vision boards through Zoom within 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I think 30 to 40 minutes and just create a connection. So I want to do that for this year and see how that goes. So if that goes well, then I will probably do that annually for You Against You podcast is a virtual vision board party. So through Zoom and then one day, maybe one day, I'll do one here in Clarksville with people who I truly want to come and we like do one when I like probably like do a little sleepover with some of my listeners and followers at a hotel or rent out an Airbnb and we just have a sleepover. We do wellness things and make vision boards. So I might do that in the near like not near future, but in the future that would be fun. But I am planning to do a Zoom vision boarding making for 2024 party. So stay tuned, look out, and yeah, just check the You Against You podcast Instagram for that information. Now, again, even though I just mentioned it. I didn't really mention it, but I mentioned it. You can follow You Against You podcast, Instagram at You Against You pod dot by Deja. You can also follow the TikTok for You Against You podcast, which is also the same username as the Instagram, which is You Against You pod dot by Deja. And then you can follow me on Instagram, my personal Instagram, which is Deja DAJAH underscore Nicole NICOLE. Those links will be in the show notes down below. Also, if you want to see some content that I make that is not podcast related, but it's fashion, beauty, wellness, lifestyle related, you can go I was in a relationship, I still did homework. So just stay tuned for that. Now I think, yeah. I think that's it because I mentioned the workshop that I'm planning to do, vision boarding workshop, I guess that's what you call it. It's not even a workshop, I would say, but let's just get on to this episode. So like I said, this episode's about leaving a toxic situation. So I asked on Instagram what type of like topics y'all want me to hear. Y'all want to hear, not me, but what y'all want me to talk about and what y'all want to hear on my podcast, especially season 2. And I'm going to ask what type of topics I want to hear for next season. So stay tuned for that. And y'all talked about, leaving a toxic situation. And I was like, this is actually a good episode topic. So we're going to talk about it. Now, I have like one, two, three, four different topic points that I will be talking about. So categories, not topic points slash categories that I will be talking about. So the first category is the signs that you want to look for when you want to know that this person is toxic and when to leave. So there's a lot of signs that people can have and think they can hide, but in fact it can be very obvious no matter how much they try to hide it, and you should be looking for those. Even if they try to hide it, it's always there. Now, the first sign that you want to look for into a person that you think is toxic and that you should leave that person in that situation at the moment is jealousy. If you're in a friend group and you talk about how you've started something new and a bunch of your friends' energies just change after you mention something big or exciting news that happened to you, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's great." I feel like that just ruined your mood because I know when I hear something like that, it does ruin my mood to the point I know that the person I just told is jealous. Jealous can be very loud even when they're trying to hide it, and it can also fill the room with bad vibes. Now, how can you tell if the person is being jealous by just them saying a phrase like that? It's how they say it. They can say it with a different tone, they can be sarcastic with it. It's just how they say it and how you take it. Yes, some people don't have to say it in a bad way, and you might not take it, in a bad way and be like, nah, they're not being jealous, but they are. Now, this can also be if you did tell your friends or someone that's very close to you some good news and they don't say anything at all. They just, make a, like, just, suck their teeth, like, or roll their eyes after you, not they, but after you tell them the good news. It will make them feel a certain type of way. So, like, for instance, so like today, hold up, okay, I was trying to lock my phone, but today I told my best friend that I might go to this vendors event for business owners at my college that's hosting. And when I told her that, it's like, she asked me what it was for, and I was like, oh, it's for my business, because, I have a business. I told you this. But even through text, I can tell that her vibe was kind of off and that she was just not in the right state of mind when I told her, and she felt some type of way. It's like, I'm not gonna even lie, when my friends tell me stuff that happened to them, like good things, I get jealous sometimes, but I try not to because I want to be a supportive friend. But sometimes friends can be jealous, and if you feel like that's happening and it's not just happening once or twice but happening every time you tell your friends good news about you, leave them. Another thing of signs that you can look for in a toxic situation and when it's ready to leave that toxic situation is they are being controlling. So this can be with friendships, and this can be with family members, this can be with acquaintances, and this can be with relationships. Now, controlling really, it's really big with relationships than any other thing when people hear the word controlling. So, for the people who are in relationships and they trying to make their relationship work, if you have a partner who is controlling, meaning they tell you what you should wear and what you should not wear, they tell you who should you be friends with and who you should not be friends with, not because that person is being rude to you, it's just because of the gender of that person or how the person treats you better than your partner. There can be so many ways on why a partner can be controlling over you. So, if you want to know if you should leave your partner because being controlling can be very big within relationships, then you should ask yourself. When I mentioned my guy friend and this person comes in defense and say I should stop talking to him because of some false accusations. Is that toxic? Like, you should ask those type of questions or be like, should I ask him if this is okay for me to wear? Because last time we wore something similar like this, he freaked out. If you're gonna ask yourself those type of questions, I mean, your partner is controlling, so don't put yourself in that situation. And if you're in that situation, please get out that situation and start healing yourself. Now, the last thing of signs that you can look for is lying. Now, a lot of people can be good at this. Now, that is like something that's hard. A lot of people can be good at this to the point that sometimes you don't really realize that the person is lying. But for some people who are bad liars, they can give it away because they fidget a lot, or their tone of their voice change, or they like look away from you when they're talking to you. But if you think that the person is lying and you feel like you have to get a lie detector test on that person, then the person is toxic and is putting you in a toxic situation and it's making you feel bad and it's making you feel a certain way. So get out that situation. Okay? Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how do you feel and how to feel after leaving this toxic situation, and what would you start feeling? So the first thing is you're going to start blaming yourself. And this is like very common with a lot of people who just leaves the toxic situation because they start blaming themselves than the person. They start blaming themselves that the person was toxic because you came in their life. What if they had problems that they never resolved and they just really put that on you to the point that you was just someone that they can just put all their anger to. Like you're not their doll, you're not their stress ball, you know? You're not an object that they can just play around and like put it down when they're done. Like that's like what people can do. And if you have to ask yourself, was it your fault? Just know it's never your fault. A lot of people project how they feel about themselves to you, and once you leave their life, they will realize that. Another thing that you will notice after you leave the situation and the feelings that you will start feeling is you will start distancing yourself around the time that you're still in this toxic situation and leaving this toxic situation. You would distance yourself to the things that you love, like your hobbies, and you will also distance yourself and not have any time for the people that you care about. So that can be with friends, that can be with family, and if you're at school, you won't have the time that you really need. Like you wouldn't give yourself that time for school. You won't focus in your classes. You won't focus on your assignments. Excuse me, but you won't focus on your assignments because this person in that situation that you was just in is really controlling your mind. And I'm just gonna say this. Don't let something that won't matter in the next 6 years control your mind to ruin something good for you. Okay? Okay. Now, another thing and the last way that you can have a lot of feelings after getting out this situation, you probably hear this a lot in a lot of other episodes, but for real, crying it out can help. Tears help. Tears show those emotions. It shows the grief. It shows the hurt. So just cry it out. Sometimes cry yourself to sleep and give your mind that peace and give your body that rest. And if you just cry it out, your body won't have all this tension that it used to have because you was in this situation of toxicity anymore, and it would just feel relieved, it would feel relaxed. So don't be afraid to cry it out. Okay? Now, self-care things that you can do after you get out this toxic situation is reflect. And I feel like a lot of people don't do this a lot. But reflecting can really ask yourself, what can you change about yourself that you were in this situation so you don't be that type of person? Because sometimes being in a toxic situation can really bring the worst out of you. I have noticed that just being in toxic relationships and being in toxic friendships, like it can really, really like bring this other person out that you never thought you could be. So ask yourself, who was this person that I was because of this toxic relationship? What was I feeling the most? Was I feeling anger? Was I feeling sadness? Was I feeling a mix of both? Was I even ever happy? Like, ask yourself those questions. You can find so many journal prompts on Pinterest about getting out of a toxic situation, getting out of a toxic relationship, just anything, but just ask those type of questions and reflect And this is going to take time. This doesn't happen overnight. You do not heal overnight. So just reflect on the situation. The next thing is journal. Like I said on reflection, just journal and journal all your feelings. Journal how you felt during those situations, and you can just do a whole page or 2 pages or 3 pages or just half of that journal and be like, so I felt like this, and just make it as like so many different paragraphs and make it as like a mini story if you have to, but just journaling and reflecting just go hand in hand after getting out of these type of situations, to the point that it's going to help you take a big deep breath, and it's going to help you get some type of closure. It's also going to help you feel relief. It's going to help you with like a lot of things. Another thing that you can do is you can try a new hobby. Try and see if you have any new strengths that you never thought you had, or even go back to the old hobbies, because even being in a toxic situation, you can be in a friend group and you can tell your friends, well, I love knitting because it helps me with my stress. I do not knit, by the way, that is just an example, but you can say that and your friends can be laughing at you and then make fun of you, and you just stop knitting because your friends called you a dork or called you a nerd or this or that or some other names, and it just really like put down your self-esteem. The next thing is spending time outside. If you just go on a walk or read outside or just spending time with nature, go to the zoo, you're still outside, but just being around nature, getting vitamin D, getting fresh air can really change your mood. Sometimes, like if I'm not my best, I would go on a walk. I kid you not. Like today, I did not feel like doing anything, where I was like trying to read and trying to plan out today's episode on Notion, because I plan like all my episodes on Notion. And after I did that, I wanted to read, but I just could not focus in the library just because it was like a lot of people. My mind was jumbling. Like I said, got I just got into a breakup. So I'm like going through this whole emotional roller coaster, going through a breakup, and I just went outside. The swing bench was free. I was so happy that the swing bench was free on my like university campus, because I love reading on the swing bench. So I went on the swing bench and I read, and I just read until it was time for me to go, and it just really helped me. It changed my mood, especially how there's like a tree right in front of the swing bench, and I just watched the leaves fall. It was not even too cold nor too hot, and I just felt the wind going through like around me, and it just felt very nice, and the wind was just messing with the pages, and I was like, this just feels very nice. But just spending time outside, spending time in nature can really change your moods and can actually help you forget about the situation quicker, because your mind is distracted, but it's distracted for a good reason. Now, the next thing that you can do when you're just getting out of this toxic situation and things of self-care is you can keep working on your goals. Now, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people, they stop working on their goals when someone like tell them that it's not gonna work for them, it's not worth it, why you even trying to, like, if you like a friend group, because I'm using this for an example because this is like very popular, like this topic is very popular with the people who are in friend groups and wondering if they can leave, or they should not want, but should they leave the friend group? So if you're in a friend group and you tell your friends your goals, why would you tell your friends your goals? I'm sorry, but sometimes I don't tell my best friend my goals because I just feel like it's gonna make her feel a certain type of way, and I can tell it can piss her off. And sometimes you should not tell people your goals, but just keep working on your goals because if you keep working on your goals, no matter how you're feeling, it should show that you're disciplined because even on bad days, people still work towards their goals and still make it happen. They don't just work on their goals only when they're happy and full of excitement. No, because you can even have ideas to expand your goals when you're not having your good days. And you can have ideas when you are having a good day. So you never know. So don't like stop working on your goals just because you are in this stage of leaving something that you thought was good for yourself, like a good friend group, because you wanted some friends and they said, yeah, we can all be friends. But in fact, it was just very toxic. And you'd be like, well, they didn't like that I said this, so I'm not going to do it. No, honey, keep doing it. The next thing I would say is also treat yourself. Treat yourself to like a nice dinner if you have to. Treat yourself to a spa day. Treat yourself getting a mini petty. Treat yourself, but just like, buying yourself something like flowers, or if you really want a purse, do that, or do a shopping spree. Just treat yourself. It is therapy. Shopping is therapy. Getting your nails done is therapy. Spending money in general can be therapy, okay? Just know how to not spend too much. But it is therapy and it can boost all of those hormones, your happy hormones, your excitement hormones, all of that. And it will also boost your mood and you can be like, well, this does make me feel better. Maybe spending 100 something bucks or 200 something bucks, maybe 300 something bucks really put a smile on my face. And I also needed some new clothes anyways, like, or some new furniture or some new shoes. Like, you can always find an excuse to buy stuff and go shopping. That's what I did once I got fired. But that like the workspace was toxic. And I went shopping after I got fired. Um I bought this camera, I bought my phone, then I went clothing shopping. Like, shopping is therapy. So just buy things that you always wanted. And you know you won't regret it because you always wanted. You will never regret the things that you always wanted. So, yeah. Now, the last topic that I will talk about, which I kind of like already touched based on, but I kind of broke it down some more to, I think I did touch base on this, I don't know. But I broke it down some more is do not blame yourself. So yes, I did talk about this. But I broke it down. But don't blame yourself because of the situation. Don't blame yourself. Do not blame yourself because when you blame yourself, you're putting yourself in a hole. You're going to keep putting yourself in a hole, and it's going to take forever. It's going to take forever. It's going to be a long time since you get out this hole until you get out this hole because you kept blaming yourself. You kept putting yourself in this hole. Now, remember, it's not your fault that they're treating you this way or they acting this way or reacted to something you say. It's never your fault. Like I said, it's always their fault is something that they're dealing with, but they're projecting their feelings towards you. Like I said at some point in this episode, early in the episode, I guess. Um, Another thing that you should remember is that they're probably dealing with their own issues, and a lot of people, when they're dealing with their own issues, they like to ruin good things for themselves, and they would like for you to also be feeling bad because they're dealing with their issues. So they will change your energy, they would change your mood, they would change how you feel, because you could be having a good day, and then boom, because of them and because they having a bad day, they can be like, well, I want to make this person's day bad too. So they also want you to have a bad day so they can know how it feels to be in their shoes, but it's only a temporary feeling that they're feeling as well. Another thing is that they will also put you in their shadow and just keep you there for a while, and that can really, really hurt. So when sometimes, like, what I've noticed, especially like my relationship, like yesterday, is that my ex was putting me in his shadows, was putting me in the shadows. I don't know if it was his shadows or just some type of shadowy place, but was putting me in the shadows. And I noticed that because he was dealing with his issues. If you're dealing with something, and if you're like listening to this and you're dealing with something and you have a very close friend, or if you're in a relationship, let the person know. Don't just keep them out of the like blue, and don't let them know. Like, if you don't let them know, they're gonna wonder, and you're just gonna keep pushing them and keep pushing them off to the point that they're going to be in the shadowy place because they're wondering if it's their fault. They're wondering if they hurt you, when in reality they did. It's just you're not letting them know, you're not communicating with them, and it kind of hurts them, and to the point that you're going to lose someone good. Another thing, and the last thing before I close out today's episode, is that you have to know that you can't control how someone reacts or act or think or even say. It's how they project it, is how they want the situation to be. If they want the situation to be toxic, they will make it toxic. They probably have like this whole situation in their mind, and they want it to be toxic. It's something that you cannot help. It's something that you can't stop. It's just something you have to let happen. And that is normal. We're not perfect. We're humans. We will never be perfect. We will always have feelings, and we will always want to express those feelings. But if you do not want to put yourself in the situation of making this situation toxic, but you are the person is making the situation toxic, just let someone know that you're not yourself and separate yourself temporarily, then forever, before you lose someone close to you, because it can really hurt. But that is the end of today's episode 20 of You Against You podcast. We're almost done with season 2. I had to think what season I was on. We're almost with season 2, and I think I will actually next episode, I will have a release date, or either next episode or next like episode after that. Either one, the next episode after this, or the one after that, or the last episode. I don't know yet. Um, I will have a release date on when I have season 3 out, some point in January, though. It won't be the first week of January, probably the second week of January. So stay tuned for that. Before I close down today's episode, let's get into some closures. Remember that we do have a group chat on Geneva, so if you want to add yourself and make besties and become besties, the link is always in the show notes. And go add yourself and say hi. I need to start being active in that group chat, but I do. And yeah, I just want to build a community and grow the community. That is like my goal and whatnot. Because there's a lot of things that I want to do, but I need a community to do it. So yeah. Um Another thing, you can follow You Against You podcast on Instagram at You Against You Pod by Deja. That is also the same username for our TikTok. You can also follow me on Instagram at Deja DAJAH underscore Nicole NICOLE underscore. You can also go subscribe to my main YouTube channel because why not? I've been posting a lot of like vlogs lately. So if you like watching vlogs, I have like 2 vlogs that I posted. So you can go watch those if you want. Um you can also want to go follow my business Instagram and TikTok, which is Deja Beauty Nicole. Hold up. So scratch that. My business Instagram and TikTok is Deja Nicole Beauty. I don't know what I said, but it's Deja Nicole Beauty for both the Instagram and TikTok, and my Etsy shop link. Even though I want to change to a website very soon, some point next year, either in February or March. That is my goal, is to switch for a website and come up with some new products. Also going to be in the show notes down below, so go check your girl out. I also want to do a website for the You Against You podcast. So why not? Also, remember that stay tuned. Look out for the posts on the You Against You podcast social media, Instagram, which I will have a little Zoom meeting of making a vision board together. We're gonna make a vision board together and share them all, and just drink some coffee or tea or iced tea or hot coffee or juice, whatever. And yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna like communicate and have fun. So if you want to do that, stay tuned for the post and whatnot. So yeah, but I really do hope that you like today's episode of You Against You podcast. And remember, it will always be you against you, not you against the world. And I really do hope that you love today's episode. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave a rating and review. I love reading the reviews. So yeah, and if you like, not like, but if you're listening to this on Spotify, don't forget to leave a rating. And I'll see you on the next episode. I love you, and bye, besties.